How long will it take for humans to colonize another planet? There's a huge difference between sending humans to Mars and colonizing worlds outside our solar system. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk wants to have a city of 1 million people on Mars by 2050. That may sound astronomically ambitious considering humans have never set foot on the Martian surface, but is it feasible? So here in this case, feasible means practicable or possible to do easily or conveniently. How long would it take for humans to colonize another planet? And could it ever be possible for people to colonize worlds outside the solar system? The answer to these questions depend heavily on which planet you are talking about. For Mars, decades isn't necessarily an unrealistic time frame. Sirkan Sadam, Deputy Director of the Australian Centre for Space Engineering Research and a professor at the University of New South Wales in Sydney, said human colonization of Mars is possible within decades. I believe by 2050, we will have a human colony on Mars, Sadam told Live Science. Sidham is a mining engineer who specializes in researching future mining. The first major step in establishing a successful Mars colony will be water, and that can be extracted from ice and or hydrated minerals, according to Sidham. He thinks water would then facilitate agriculture and the ability to grow food on Mars, like in the 2015 movie The Martian, while hydrogen from the ice and minerals could also be used as an energy source for rocket propulsion. But there isn't a scientific consensus on Mars colonization in 2050, and other scientists have offered less optimistic opinions. Louis Freiman, an astronautics engineer and co-founder of the nonprofit The Planetary Society, suggested to Gizmodo in 2019 that Mars colonization was unlikely for the foreseeable future, while Rachel Sater, a neuroscientist at the University of Florida who has worked with NASA astronauts, told Gizmodo that people who like to be optimistic about colonizing Mars, but it's a bit pie in the sky. Humanity will, however, likely reach Mars within decades. China plans to start sending human crews to Mars in 2033, while NASA aims to send astronauts there by late 2030s or early 2040s. Once humans get there, the next step could be build a colony. Colonization implies some degree of self-sufficiency, but not necessarily complete independence from Earth. Sidham compares Mars with a remote island where you still need to import things occasionally. Most of the equipment and tools could be sent from Earth, Sidham said. I don't think you can manufacture a truck on the Mars surface. Mars would need to produce something for a long-term colony to be financially viable. Space tourism is an option, but Satan pointed to mineral extraction as key to colonization success. For example, space mining on nearby asteroids for valuable materials such as platinum could create new space economies, thereby driving further investment and exploration. Though Mars is our most realistic option for extraterrestrial colonization, our red neighbor isn't exactly the most accommodating planet for humans. Mars' atmosphere is more than 95% of carbon dioxide. It's really cold, with an average temperature of around minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 60 degrees Celsius. It takes spacecraft from Earth about 8.5 months to reach, and is bombarded with harmful radiation. There's almost certainly more habitable new homes to be found on planets beyond our solar system, called exoplanets. The problem with exoplanets is that they are very, very far away. We haven't even sent a spacecraft to an exoplanet, and the only probes to leave our solar system were Voyager 1 and 2, which took 35 years to 41 years, respectively, to go interstellar. Exoplanets are much further away. The closest exoplanet would take several tens of thousands of years to reach with our current technology. Frederick Morin, a black hole astrophysicist at the Astronomical Observatory of Strasbourg at the University of Strasbourg in France, told Live Science. Those travel times may make exoplanet colonization sound impossible, but Martin, who runs computer simulations for interstellar travel, has as a scientific curiosity expects them to plummet in the near future thanks to faster spacecraft. We know in science that every 100 years, every century, the velocity of your means of propulsion increases by a factor of 10. Martin said, in other words, as humans learn how to travel faster and faster in space with each passing century, the potential travel time to exoplanets could drop from tens of thousands of years to thousands of years and then to hundreds of years. Martin laid out a hypothetical scenario of reaching an exoplanet that's at least hospitable to humans within 500 years. A journey lasting centuries would still require a spaceship piloted by multiple generations of humans, most of whom would never see the exoplanet that's eventually colonized. Martin's simulation suggests that around 500 something couldn't download anymore. Let me try it again. Okay, it's here. Martin's simulation suggests that around 500 people is a suitable starting population for a multi-generational colony ship, but how humans could cope with spending the rest of their lives on a spaceship with how their offspring would handle being born into interstellar travel, life raised ethical questions and uncertainties, and with climate change and the Earth-based challenges threatening to drive humans to extinction before we crack interstellar travel, there's no guarantee we'll ever colonize exoplanets.